This is Cinmayi Mataji Dece welcoming each one of you to our mid-morning session of Bhakti Sangha. May we know who all have joined today so that we can greet you.
Krishna Mataji, Danvat Pranams, our glories to Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharajas and all the assembled Vaishnavas. This is Kirtida Sundari Dasi.
Hare Krishna, Caitanya Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji, for all your services. Thank you for your beautiful instructive classes. And please thank Prabhuji for the beautiful recitation. Welcome, Mataji, to today's call.
Sure, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Cinmayi Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from College Station, Texas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for all your services. And welcome to today's call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Danvat Pranam, all glory to Srila Prabhupada. This is Neetu from Baltimore.
Hare Krishna, Neetu Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji, for joining each and every day and giving your association to us. And welcome, Mataji, to today's call. It's past 11. Shall I read Prabhupada's quote and then we'll wait for Prabhu? Or shall
Yeah, sure, Mataji. Then let me start the recording.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to our mid-morning Bhakti Sangha Japa session. And we will be continuing our Caitanya Bhagavath class today. And before that, I'd like to read Srila Prabhupada's quote. Simply propagate this chanting, dancing, feasting, and following the regulative principles. These are the 4 pillars of our success. This was quoted, instructed by His Divine Grace in a letter to Krishna Dasa on December 25th, 1969. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Continue to chant till Prabhuji joins. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna. Achintya Gopesh Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Srila Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving your precious time and being here with us and enlightening us about our Supreme Lord. And Prabhuji will be talking on Caitanya Bhagavath Madhya Khanda 19th chapter from verses 54 to 64. So we are all eagerly waiting. Prabhuji, please take over. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much for this opportunity. We will begin by invocation prayers. Om Ajnanatimiranandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. गुरवे गौरचंद्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। जयतां सुरतोर्पंगो मम मंदमतिर्गतिः मत्सर्वस्वपादां पूजो राधा मदनो। Hare Krishna. So welcome everybody to today's session on Caitanya Bhagavat, and we are in the 19th chapter. We're going to read from text number 54, where we are going to see the wonderful pastime of Srila Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and also Nityananda Prabhu meeting this grahastha person acting as a sannyasi. So just give me a minute, I'll project the verses and then we can start. You are able to see the verses?
Yes,
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So 19th chapter, Caitanya Bhagavath Madhyalila, text 54. This is the sequence when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu are going through Navdeep, and they are across the Ganges. They are going to meet Advaita Acharya. But before that, they are coming into this, hermit kind of a place where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asks Nityananda Prabhu, who's living here? He says it's kind of sannyasi, so they go to meet. And after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu meets the sannyasi and they pay obeisances, sannyasi blesses that you get all the wealth, you get nice, beautiful wife, and you get all the, adoration, fame, and all of that. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, what is the use of these kind of blessings? So it is better to bless that you remember Krishna and progress in devotional service. So then the sannyasi becomes slightly unhappy, and he says, I have given this Brahmana son wonderful benediction from a material point of view, and why are you criticizing me? So that's the verse we are going to start. Text 54. Sannyasi balaya suna brahmana kumara, kena tumi ashirvada nindile amara. The sannyasi said, listen, O son of Brahmana, why do you criticize my benediction? Text 55 and 56. पृथ्वी ते जन्मिया ये न चैला विलासा उत्तम कामिनी यारा नरईले पाशा यारा धन नाही तारा जीवने की काजा हे न धन वर दिते पाओ तुमी लाजा. If one who has taken birth in this world does not engage in sense gratification, does not enjoy beautiful women, and does not accumulate wealth, then what is the use of his life? And you are embarrassed to accept the benediction of such wealth. This is a typical materialistic point of view. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Goswami Maharaj comments in his purport. If after coming into this material world, a person does not enjoy the intimate association of women, there is no use of his life. What is the use is there in life of one who has, after receiving human birth, does not accumulate wealth? I awarded you the benediction that you would achieve wealth and women, but you are embarrassed to accept them. This is astonishing. There is no way to progress in this world without wealth, and I cannot understand how one can fill his stomach by possessing devotional service to Krishna. He has translated the saying of the sannyasi. The sannyasi is wondering, how is it possible without money? How will you fill your belly? Without all these opulences, how will you enjoy life? Text 57. Kailava Vishnu Bhakti Tomara Sharire Dhana Vina Ki Kaiba Taha More. Tell me, even if you have devotion to Vishnu, what will you eat if you do not have wealth? a very pertinent material argument. We'll go into the details of that. Text 58. Having heard these comments from the sannyasi, now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going to react. Ase Prabhu sannyasira vachana suniya, Shrihasta dilena nija tapale tuliya. On hearing the words of the sannyasi, the Lord smiled, raised his hand to his forehead. On hearing the foolish arguments of the Dhari sannyasi, Gaurasundara hit his forehead with his hand while saying, hi, 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 hi. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here is, considering these words as very foolish and very unfortunate. Text 59. Vyapadeshe Mahaprabhu savare sikhaya bhakti vina keha yena kichu nahi chaya. By this action, Mahaprabhu taught everyone not to aspire for anything other than devotional service. In this pastime, Sriman Mahaprabhu cleverly revealed the importance of devotional service and the insignificance of all other activities, and thus taught everyone that they should not desire anything else. In the course of teaching, he included the instruction to give up desires for material enjoyment. So, here till text 59, and then we'll go ahead.
I get it, Judy.
You'll see that here this is a typical material interaction that is happening, or the typical material viewpoint is being kept by this so-called sannyasi. And in this pastime, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going to illustrate many learnings. There are two prominent ones. First, he is going to show the situation of a general material person who takes up to religiosity, and his objective of taking to religion is still, artha kama, and it's about getting material benefits. And Mahaprabhu is going to demonstrate that how such people believe that the end goal of religious life is to get a peaceful, nice, enjoyable, satisfied life with a lot of money and people, and if you get the blessings towards that and get your own daily bread. However, actually, the purpose of spiritual life is very different. So he's going to illustrate the real purpose of spiritual life. Second, he is also going to teach that he is ready to give mercy to a sannyasi who is actually acting very wrongly by associating with women and liquor and all of that. But he still, so even if there are sense gratifiers, there is mercy of the Lord that can still happen and they can turn into pure devotees. But if one is envious or a Mayavadi, who thinks he himself is God, or he is going to blaspheme God and his Krishna and his devotees, then to an envious person, he is not going to show mercy. Like we can see, he avoided Mayavadi sannyasis in Benares and many other places. So these two things, that what is the actual purpose of spiritual life, and how even a person having material desires can be receiving the mercy of the Lord to become pure devotee, but an envious person or a Mayavadi cannot, is something that is illustrated as a part of this pastime. And in the core that we are discussing here, we are going to see how a person with material desires is going to be advised by this pastime for not maintaining those material desires and turning to desiring to serve Krishna or pure devotional service. So this is what is going to be looked at in these verses, and specifically this conversation is going on. Now this conversation is that the sannyasi is very astonished. I gave you wealth, I give you blessings for wealth, give you blessings for a very good enjoyment with the opposite gender. I gave you blessings for fame, and you don't want all of this. Then why do you, what is the use? That is one point that he makes. Second point that he makes is, if you just have bhakti for Krishna or Vishnu, but you don't have money, what are you going to eat? Right? So these are the two questions. So the first question shows his mentality, because when somebody asks something, they also, sort of reflect their mentality. The understanding of this so-called sannyasi is that all of these things, religiosity and all of that, is to get fame from the society, to associate with wonderful women, have liquor. This material things is the real purpose of this entire society. That is their understanding. And you also ask this question that if you don't have wealth, you just have bhakti, what will you eat? Right? These are very pertinent questions. Now, while for people who are hearing Chaitanya Bhagavat, they are all very wonderful devotees, and they are long understanding this question. Sometimes in the core of the heart of even devotees, there are this absolute surrender to the Lord and dependence of the Lord are gradual evolutions that happen. So I'm going to ask this question. If somebody asks you this question, okay, if you might be Krishna conscious, but if you don't have wealth, what will you eat? Right? If you don't have food, what will you eat? What is the answer for that? How are we going to answer that? What is the response to that question? Anybody?
Prabhuji, we can say what Prabhupada says all the time, that Krishna definitely takes care of all the living entities. Elephant eats tons and tons of food, and he takes care of it. I know, I'm just thinking.
Yes, very nice. So Srila Prabhupada gives this example. There are so many elephants in the forest. They eat tons and tons of food. So Krishna is providing everybody, correct? Okay. So then the counter question is usually asked, okay, if Krishna is providing everything, why are you working? Huh? Why are you guys going to office or doing something? Why can't you just depend on Krishna to give everything?
Do not burden Krishna too much.
Cannot burden Krishna too much. That's a very good answer. Very nice. Right. So one of the things my counselor used to say, Mr. Gokesh Prabhu, is vice president of ISKCON, he used to say at a very early stage, he used to say, please understand that the source of your income and the source of your maintenance are two different things. Your income might be coming due to the work you are doing, the office you are going, or something like that. And even that source is ultimately Krishna. But the immediate source could be the job you are doing, that's the income. But the understanding that it is my job which is maintaining me, that is incorrect. Actual maintenance is coming from Krishna. There are many, many rich people who have a lot of wealth, but who cannot be maintained. I've seen many sports people, they have a lot of wealth, but they are in such a state that they are absolutely not able to be maintained. There are many businessmen, they had a lot of wealth, but their health or their family situation or their so many cases against them, absolutely not able to be getting maintained, right? So, and so on and so forth for politicians, many, many people. So maintenance, actually the source of maintenance is Krishna. And really the purpose of Bhagavatam and also Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavat, everything, the purpose of Bhagavatam is to ultimately reach that ashray, where we are completely dependent on Krishna for our maintenance. And of course, as service to Krishna, we do several activities in this material world. This is the viewpoint of a devotee. A devotee says, ultimately, Krishna Rakhe Krishna Mare Mare Krishna Rakhe Ke. So ultimately, I am dependent on Krishna, but I will continue to do my duties, and whatever Krishna provides, I will be satisfied with. Whereas the materialist is right opposite. He will say, I will do all my, even the karma kandi, pseudo religious person is right opposite. He will say, I will do all the ritualistic activities so that I can get nice wealth, nice, association and nice fame and so on and so forth. So his intention of doing all these activities is to achieve material gains. And so even if he worships the demigods, it is just like a transaction. There is the inherent thing which is missing is what? What is the thing that is missing? When these Karmakandis worship demigods, seems like they are performing some religious activity. But what is missing? The inherent love, or love means, prema means to satisfy Krishna's senses. The inherent desire to satisfy the senses of Krishna is missing. It is for their own sense gratification. It is very much like a mother taking care of the child and a professional, a maid taking care of the child, right? A babysitter. What is the difference between a babysitter, which she is just a professional babysitter, versus the mother taking care of the child? Both are doing the same activities. But what is the difference? What is the difference?
Love is missing when the maid is taking care.
Yes, the love is missing. The intention is to earn some money, whereas the mother doesn't have any selfish intent. She's doing it selflessly. And what is the difference in the result? The difference in the result is very much. When the babysitter is taking care, she gets some money, but she's very fatigued. She or he is very fatigued in that job, and he wants to get out and do something else. Whereas the mother, when she takes care of the child, then what happens is she's not externally getting anything material, but internally in the heart, she starts getting pleasure because it is service. That pleasure of love. That is why a mother will never give up that service. Even if you give them $100 million, they will not give up their child, because they are getting in the heart the pleasure of course, that's also material in this material world, but as much as the mother does selflessly, that much she starts getting that love. And she doesn't become fatigued, she becomes more and more enlivened. Now, this is for a child. If somebody does that similarly for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then in the heart they start getting so much of ecstasy that they are completely enlivened by this ecstasy. Right? So the first thing we are going to discuss is source of maintenance and source of income is different. Now, how much we are a devotee depends on how much in the core of the heart, in our chitta, it is not just in the mind what we think, the upper elements of our brain, but the core of the heart in the chitta, what is our desire? Do we expect to do Krishna consciousness and then be happy, blissful, have a wonderful material life, have a peaceful situation, all wealth, all facilities, a nice health, everything? Or are we really wanting, we're not thinking about any of that, but only wanting to focusing our chitta on how to please Radha and Krishna? This is the clear question that we need to evaluate. But before we do that, we will start with some questions, which are some pastimes which illustrate this. Can you tell me some pastimes, some references in Shastra where this question is addressed? Where do we get our food? The question that he asked, that if you would only have Krishna or Vishnu Bhakti, what will you eat? Where will you get your food from? Where will be the source of maintenance coming? Where will food be coming? In which pastimes? Can you remember some pastimes where this has been addressed?
Caitanya Mahaprabhu asking this to Srivas Thakur.
Yes, that is a very wonderful thing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked this question to Srivas Thakur. What did he ask? He asked, Srivas Thakur, you are a grasta, you have so many servants, but you don't do any activity. How are you maintaining your family? And what did Srivas Thakur reply? Said, we are only depending on Krishna. I will call out to Krishna first day, if second day, third day, and if nothing happens, we will go and jump into the Ganges. But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw so much of his faith on Krishna, it's not that Srivas Thakur was not doing anything. The point is, he was not saying, oh, I'm doing this job, that job, or I'm doing this, that, I'm a Brahmana and I will get all of those. No, his dependence was not on these things. The idea is not to say that don't do anything. The idea is his dependence was not. He knew the source of maintenance is Krishna. So he said, Krishna is there, we pray to him. That is our source of maintenance. I have full faith in that. If I don't get, then. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, even the lizards and cockroaches in your house, everybody will get sufficient things. You will never go hungry. Because one who is connected and dependent on the source of everything, who's Krishna, and Krishna is the most munificent. If somebody has direct love for Krishna, he will surely make sure. Like if even in the material world you know the king, and you are very dear to the king will make sure you get all facility. Or you know the prime minister, president, you will make sure you get all the facilities. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, who has no constraints. So if you really love him, he will take care of you. So that's one pastime. What other pastimes? What other pastimes can you think of?
The pastime of Mrigari, Narada Muni tells Mrigari.
Very nice, very wonderful. That's also very wonderful pastime. Where Narada Muni advised Mrigari to just chant, and then the village people came with all the offerings. So he was previously killing animals half dead, and he's saying, if I don't do this, how will I get my food? But the moment Mrigari started, he took the mantra from Narada Muni and he started chanting, and he started getting everything. Right? That's a very wonderful pastime. Thank you. That's very nice. Which other pastime? Anything else we can discuss? Any other pastimes?
Not
Sorry, Mataji.
Go ahead, Mataji.
No, Mataji, after you.
No, Mataji, I was just saying that, Prabhu, there is no such, I don't remember any other such pastime where Krishna is asking, but yes, we have seen the dependence of the devotees towards Krishna, like we have Kolavecha Sridhar. Kolavecha Sridhar was totally dependent, like he was not asking for any bhukti.
Correct. The devotees are always dependent. While that might not be a conversation of specifically asking, but the theme of being completely dependent on Krishna. Okay, that's very nice. Anything else?
Similar way I was thinking of Srila Haridas Thakur Prabhu, where he was totally dependent. He would sit outside Jagannath Puri, and Mahaprabhu himself would personally take prasadam to him every day.
Yes, Mahaprabhu used to personally take prasadam. Raghunath Das Goswami also. Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, I guess. So when the perfection of, sorry?
Das Goswami?
Yes, Das Goswami. So perfection of renunciation, how he was fully that he was begging in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri, and he thought, now I'm thinking this person will give prasad, this person will. So he said, remove that, and he went and he was just taking discarded prasadam, and he was taking prasadam which is gone. So high sense of renunciation. So that was definitely there. There is also the general conversation. He sometimes said it was between Lord Shiva and Parvati, or Goddess Parvati, or sometimes that it was between Sita ji and Ramji. This conversation was there when it is said that Parvati is seeing that Lord Shiva is not doing anything, right? He's supposed to run this material world, but he was not doing anything. And then you know how wives become very agitated when if they see the husband just sitting around reading newspaper, doing nothing. So Parvati asked, hey, you are supposed to maintain this world. So why aren't you going to all the creatures who are hungry and providing something? Right? And Lord Shiva said, the Supreme Personality who has created everyone, he is already maintaining everyone. So maintenance is taken care by Vishnu. There's no problem, and everybody will get everything. But whatever is my duty, I'm anyway doing. Don't worry. Oh, she said, okay. Is that how it is? I said, okay. So she thought, let me test today. So she went and she's supposed to have taken a box and captured one ant in the box, and she kept it with her the whole day. And the evening, she came and asked, Lord Shiva, you done? You done your duties? Yes, yes. And by the mercy of your Lord, everybody is being fed. Yes, he said, yeah, everybody is being fed. No problem. So how is that possible? You have, my Lord, you have forgotten this ant. He said, which ant? So you see, the ant in this box, I have kept him with me, the whole day. The ant has not been fed. He said, please look inside. When he removed the box inside, saw the ant had a grain of rice in its mouth. So Lord Shiva said, the maintainer, the creator of everybody, is also the maintainer. He takes care of everybody according to his karma and according to his mercy. He receives whatever food they have to receive. There was similarly, sometimes human beings become, there is also a story of Shivaji Maharaj, when it said that he was building the fort, he was building big forts. So he was thinking, I am the protector of these people, and if I don't protect them with these forts, then I become, then these people will be, killed by the Mughals or whatever. So I am protected. He became very proud. And Swami Samarth Ramdas, one of his gurus, was with him. So he was visiting the fort. So they were climbing up. Fort was being built. So he suddenly saw this mentality of Shivaji Maharaj, and he said, bring your soldiers and break this rock which is here. I said, why? He said, no, first break this rock, then we will go up. So the soldiers came and broke the small rock. And inside some of the rocks, there is fully covered by the rock, but there are some toads, some frogs living. Right? And broke, there was a frog, and the frog had water and something to eat, but completely covered inside the stone. Right? So he said, did you provide the water and food for this frog inside this rock? Then Shivaji Maharaj understood, and he was completely became humble. The Lord is providing for everybody. The Lord is giving all the facilities to everybody. Right? And we simply have these two things. We believe we are providing as the father or mother of the family, or head of the state, or head of the institution, or of the office, or something. We believe that we are providing all of this. Or in other sense, we also have this mentality that if we don't do this, how will we get our maintenance? Right? Everybody has to do his work, but that as an offering to Krishna. This is said in the 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, also 26, 27 verses, where it is very clearly said that one must do everything and say Om Tat Sat. It is all as an offering for Krishna. So there are many pastimes where this is discussed. There is also this pastime, which is that famous pastime from Bhagavad Gita, where this is discussed, which is the famous verse of Bhagavad Gita where this is described, that I will provide.
Yogshema Vahamiham.
Yeah, Yogashemam Vahamiham. And there also there is this wonderful story of Brahmana called Arjunacharya, who used to only beg from 3 houses and get his prasad. He was living with his wife and he was translating, he was giving the purports to Bhagavad Gita. And when he saw Yoga Shemam Vahamyam, Vahamyam means I will bear or I'll carry. So he said, this is not right Sanskrit, the Yoga Shem. Why should the Lord carry? He was in a bit of the Aishwarya. He said, why should Lord carry? The Lord should say, I will provide, right? Dadamya, or I'll give. So he cut with red ink and he made it Dadamya. And then he went for his Unjavrati to beg for food. And that day he didn't get anything. And he was going to houses he was not getting. By the time 2 boys, black boy and blue boy and a white boy came with 2 huge baskets full of fruits and rice and everything, knocked at the door of Arjunacharya. His wife opened the door and she saw 2 beautiful boys. She said, "Who? Why are you carrying so much load?" She was so much attracted by seeing them. They said, "Oh, your husband, he sent all these things." He said, "He sent all these things with 2 small boys." Yeah, he said, "Deliver quickly, otherwise he has also beaten us. So please take. We are going to run away from here, otherwise he will beat us more." He said, "My husband, he never is." Brahmil is a devotee, he never beats anyone. No, look. So he had scratch on his cheek, or some people say this thing, beating marks on the back. Say, he has only beaten us, look. And they said that and they ran away. So wife became very this thing. Sometimes it's also said that they said, you cook and shut out eat. He has already eaten, you eat. So she cooked, and it said she offered, and she was starting to eat when Arjunacharya came back. And he said, hey, what are you doing? You're eating food. Have you offered? You're not. Generally, she wouldn't eat before Arjunacharya eat. So he was very surprised. Wow, what has made you like this? Then she said, no, you only said. I said, when did I say you have these two boys? But first tell me, why did you beat up those boys? I said, I didn't beat up anybody. So these two blue boy and white boy came with so many things. They were carrying it personally on their head. And then Arjunacharya realized, oh, this is Krishna Balram themselves. And they were carrying Yoga Shemam Vahamya. They were literally carrying. So, and he said, you've beaten them. There were red marks on their cheeks, on their backs. So he went and quickly wiped it off and said, we will not change. It is actually Krishna who provides. He maintains what we have and provides what we lack. Yoga Shemam Vahamya. So, there are many, many instances. Of course, there is the instance of Prithu Maharaj also, where there is this discussion happens, right? Where in Prithu Maharaj's story, this discussion happens, this thing happens. Right? Prithu Maharaj does yagna, and then he sees the earth is not providing, so he starts chasing the earth. And Mother Earth, then he says, I am worshipping Vishnu, you should provide, and Mother Earth then provides all the foodstuffs and everything in abundance. And there it is very clearly written that if you are doing devotional service, yagna, then the Mother Earth will not hold back. It will provide so much of grains and so on and so forth. I also heard Srila Prabhupada's lecture where he was saying this earth can provide more, provide even 10 times the current population. But it is mismanagement and greed by which we are facing shortage. And there is also one more other place where Prahlad Maharaj discusses this. Does anybody remember? Where does Prahlad Maharaj discuss this? Prahlad Maharaj, when he's traveling around the universe with some of his people after when he's the king, after he's met Narsimdev and he's become the ruler, and he's traveling around the universe to meet saints and take blessings. And near river Kaveri, he comes across a person who's just lying down in the sand, and he's in the soil, and he's like fully matted hair, doing nothing to take care of himself. So Prahlad Maharaj asked, my dear great saint, you seem to be somebody who's fully self-controlled, but you're so fat. You don't seem to be doing anything to maintain yourself, but you're so fat. How is this happening? So the saint replies, you are actually a devotee of the Lord. You know everything. So I will answer. Otherwise, I had no inclination, but I will answer this. And a lot of verses he speaks on how the material people are under illusion that I will do something and I will get this, get that. However, a saintly person, a sannyasi, is completely aloof from that, and he only focuses on satisfying Krishna. And when he focuses on satisfying Krishna, when he's beyond this, he says a very important thing. When he's beyond this, that I will do something and in the material world and I will get some happiness or get something that I desire, when he's beyond this and only focusing on serving Krishna, then he becomes beyond this modes of material universe, and he's completely enjoying in the self. So there are many, many instances, but what is the bottom line? Bottom line is what is being said here in this sloka, which is that by this action, Mahaprabhu taught everyone not to aspire for anything other than devotional service. In this pastime, Mahaprabhu is clearly revealing the importance of devotional service. Only do devotional service, nothing else. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replies Text 60. Suna suna sannyasi gosai ye kaiba nija karma ye ache se apane miliba. Listen, O sannyasi Gosai, will certainly eat whatever is destined by our karma. In answer to the Gari sannyasi's question, how will you eat without the benediction of attaining wealth? Mahaprabhu said living entities will get the opportunity of receiving unsolicited foodstuffs as a result of their respective karma. Food will certainly come automatically, just as newborn baby automatically gets his mother's milk as food without endeavor. Like when the baby is born, milk is also there, and that is automatically happening. And that facility through the mother the baby gets. Can somebody also remember some other pastime where Krishna said this? That by karma you get everything? Which pastime where he used some of this logic?
Govardhan Lila Prabhuji?
Yes, very, very, very nice. The Govardhan Lila uses this karma mimamsa, this thing when the elders say we are worshipping Indra because he provides the rain, and from that we get the footsteps and the cows get the grass. Then Krishna speaks karma mimamsa. He said, by our karma, whatever we are to get, we are getting. What is Indra's role here? Huh? So there's no need to worship Indra. Even if you have to worship, then you worship Govardhan. He is all the one who's at least causing the rain and giving all the footsteps to our cows. So, and by ultimately, Govardhan is an expansion of Krishna. He showed the Brajavasis that how all you have to do is depend on Krishna and you will get everything. Right? So, that is there. We'll also read the next 3 verses before we discuss. Text 61. धन वंश निमित्त संसार काम्य करे बल तारा धन वंश तब के न मारे. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is now giving very pertinent arguments. If wealth and family are the aim of life, then tell me why are they taken away at the time of death? If human beings have a natural taste for desiring material objects like wealth and children, then in spite of their desire, why are they forced to relinquish wealth and children? Right? So if the entire objective of life is wealth and children, but everybody has to give up wealth and children when they die or in the old age or whatever, right? Why is this happening? Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, text 62, Jwarera lagiya keha kama nana kare, tabe kena jwara asi pitaye sharire. No one wants fever, but why then does fever appear and afflict one's body? So the purport, Srila Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj is saying, if simply by desiring a benediction one would attain the result, then why does unsolicited fever appear and afflict the body of a living entity? If I have to desire, I can desire, I should not have fever at all. But even without my desire, fever is coming. Even without prayer, one automatically obtains an object. And if one does not obtain an object despite prayer, the uselessness of one's desire is established. Sometimes I want to, I desire, I need something, that prayer is not getting fulfilled. Something I don't desire, but the fever or something comes, some trouble comes. So things are not happening according to your desire. And so this is very clearly established. सुन सुन गोसानी हर हेतु कर्मा कौन महापुरुष से जाने यही मर्मा. Listen, Gosani, the cause of this is karma. What great person knows this in truth? Text 64. Vede wo bujaye swarga bale jana 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 murka prati kevala se vedera karuna. Some people claim that the Vedas indicate the heavenly planets are the goal of life. But such teachings are simply the compassion of Vedas on the foolish. Now, this is a pertinent argument. When you tell materialist or the so-called religious who are after material things that it is due to karma or the mercy of the Lord that you get what you want, simply by desiring or doing certain karma kanda activities, you don't actually get what you want. Then they say, then why is Vedas recommending all this karma kanda? Right? So why is that? So here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains that it is actually the compassion of the Vedas. As a result of one's karma, fruits such as wealth are achieved. It is also heard that by influence of pious activities, one can achieve fruits like heavenly pleasures, and greedy, materialistic, ignorant people have been shown compassion by Vedic injunctions prescribed to rectify their respective natures. In this regard, one should discuss the verses such as Paroksho Vado Vedoyam Lokoyam Vyavasam. So this verse we will look at. These are two verses from Srimad Bhagavatam. So first one is 11.3.44, which has been recommended by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada. Parokshvado vedoyam balanam anushasanam karma mokshasya karmani vidate hi agadam yatam. Child and foolish people are attached to materialistic, fruitive activities, and although the actual goal of life is to become free from such activities, therefore the Vedic injunctions indirectly lead one to the path of ultimate liberation. By first preaching prescribed fruitive religious activity, just as a father promises his child a candy so that child will take medicine. So in this purport, Srila Prabhupada has explained that sometimes the father says, if the father says, you must take this medicine, the child becomes afraid and child starts to reject the medicine. The father says he has to give some allurement. Says, oh, if you take this medicine, I'll give you some sweet, some candy. So because the child wants candy, the child starts to take medicine. And when the child starts to take medicine, then he is cured and then he no longer is hankering for unnecessary things. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada says that there are certain yajnas, there are certain ritualistic activities which are prescribed, but in all those yajnas, Vishnu is worshipped. So for the want of material things, they do these yajnas, and by doing, they become purified. And then they give up this entire thing of material desires, and there are no more fruitive results, and they come to the point of chanting only Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam eva kevalam, kalo nasti ragataranyata. This is one purport, and in that, so it has been quoted here, Balanam Anushasanam Karma Mokshasya Karmani Vitatehi Agatam. Childish and foolish people are attached to materialistic, fruitive activities, although the actual goal of life is to become free from such activities. Therefore, the Vedic injunctions indirectly lead one to the path of ultimate revelation by prescribing fruitive religious activities, just as a father promises a child candy, so that child will take his medicine. The other one, the other sloka which is prescribed here is this one. Are you able to see this 11.5.11?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Loke vyayam madhya seva nitya hi jantor nahi tatra chodana vyayavadastisteshu vivaha yajna suragrahe rasunivartishta. In the material world, the conditioned souls are always inclined to sex, meat eating, and intoxication. Therefore, the religious scriptures never actually encourage such activities. Although scriptural injunction provide for sex through sacred marriage, for meat eating through sacrificial offerings, and for intoxication through the acceptance of ritual cups of wine, such ceremonies are meant for the ultimate purpose of renunciation. So wherever such allurement, the purport, Srila Prabhupada explained, that those guys who are not pure, they want something material through these material allurement, but in a restricted manner. Marriage is one, certain sacrificial ceremonies. He is mentioned in the purport that 5 kind of 5-toed animals like rabbit, rhino, they are allowed for a certain amount, and then some kind of intoxication is also allowed. But the purpose is not to indulge in these. And Srila Prabhupada says in this purport that one cannot make the argument that this is given in the Vedas, so we must have it. No. If you are actually elevated, then you don't have to go through this. It is said that those who are Krishna conscious person and Brahmanas, these things should not be had. People in the moment of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, those who want to become devotees, they have to give up all these fruitive sacrifices. They are already at a stage where they are developing love for Krishna, so they don't have to do these things. But people at a lesser level might have to do. But if someone takes to Krishna consciousness, then these 4 regulative principles automatically he can give up all this. And today is Christmas. You also see that in the Christian religion, that many such injunctions are there of wine and and so on and so forth, meat eating and so on and so forth, which are not the real purpose of this thing. Jesus did not want people to drink wine or eat meat, but the whole purpose of this is to get out of that and develop full dependence. For example, in the Gospel of John 6.35, Jesus declares, I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never go hungry, and whoever believes in me will never be thirsty. So actually, it is spiritual thirst and spiritual hunger that Jesus is talking about. But even materially speaking, if somebody approaches the Lord, then he will not be going hungry materially. And if he approaches the Lord, he will get spiritual satisfaction. And somewhere else, Jesus says, my thing is not for any material desire. My thing is only to do the work for which I have been sent by the Supreme Person. So, as a son of the Lord, or as a messenger of the Lord, his job is to execute the service. And in doing so, he gets everything. So, these are the higher things that Lord Jesus is himself, shown. But lesser people will take to some of the injunctions to cut a turkey and drink wine and so on and so forth, which are purificatory processes. But ultimately, if one takes to Krishna consciousness, these are not necessary. So, in the purport, going back, sorry, just stop this and share. So this 11.5.1 is discussed. And finally, it is said, people who are averse to the Supreme Lord take great pleasure in becoming lords of mundane objects. That is why Vedic literature gives forms of encouragement that are favorable to their taste, yet this is not actual purpose of Vedas. So again, for a moment, can you tell me some pastimes where either to the Lord or to the devotees, sometimes people seem to recommend these material activities or religion mixed with material activities, and then either the Lord or the devotees reject that. Can you think of some pastimes? Like that? Anyone?
Means that they are doing some karma kanda activities and the Lord is rejecting?
Yeah, or gives this argument which the sannyasi is giving, which that karma kanda is the ultimate thing.
Yeah, one already Mataji said is Govardhan Leela.
Govardhan Leela is definitely one. Which is the other famous dialogue? The other famous discussion happens in Ramayana when Bharata comes to invite Lord Ramchandra. Lord Ram, and despite multiple people requesting him, he says, no, I have given my promise to his father and I will not come back. Then Javali Muni starts to speak. He initially says that, no, all these people are saying, what about, forget the promise, just come and rule. Then when Lord Ram doesn't agree, he says, why wouldn't you come? He says, Lord Ram says, what will I give reply to Yamraj when he's discussing my karma, that I gave a promise as a Kshatriya and I broke it, and I broke the thing of promise I gave to my father. So when I go there, then he said, who has seen Yamraj? Right? When I am going there, then who has seen the soul? Where does the soul exist? Right? Who has seen all of this? He talks atheistic philosophy. He says, who has seen this karma and the soul and everything? You come in, you got a human form of life, come here, enjoy the kingdom, and just rule over, right? So nobody has seen any of this karma and soul and anything like that. Then Lord Ram rejects it. But no, you're talking with a lot of logic, and Lord Ram gets very angry that though you are a saint and you are to promote dharma, you are talking against dharma. And he says, okay, if that is your opinion, Vashishta also says that he is talking because of love for you. He wants you to get back into the kingdom, right? But here Lord Ram rejects this philosophy completely, right? Another pastime where this is very nicely explained is in the pastime of the wives of the Brahmanas. The Brahmanas are doing ritualistic yagnas, and Krishna tells the cowherd boys, say, oh, you might be hungry, that's why we are feeling hungry. It's a very wonderful conversation. The Gopas don't say that we are hungry, what do we do? They understand they are fully connected with Krishna. And like the finger will not be hungry unless the body is hungry. So they say, oh, Krishna and Balaram, you must be hungry. So we are feeling hungry, so tell us how can we get some prasad. So they say, you go to the Brahmanas, you're doing yagna, ask for some prasad. So they go there, they request very sweetly. Now you can see, sweet children, very wonderful. They're coming and requesting for some prasad. These Brahmanas are between the rituals, so they have a lot of things in their mind. Oh, now we cannot get up from this fire. If we give something, we'll become suchi mochi. We'll have to take bath again, and this will break the yagna. Only after things are offered in yagna, then only I can give. What is the point they are missing? The entire things that you're doing is for the satisfaction of Krishna. And the Gopas are coming and saying, please give some food for Krishna and Balram who are close by. They're not begging for them, they're begging for Krishna and Balram. But still the Brahmanas ignore them. So they come back very disappointed. And Krishna says, you go and ask the wives of the Brahmanas. When they ask the wives of the Brahmanas bring everything to Krishna. And after seeing him, they become so attracted. They said, we'll just go with you. And Krishna says, no. He gives another lesson that just by coming behind me, you cannot get me. You have to stay there, chant, remember, hear my glories, remember my pastimes, and develop that love, and then you can attain me. So by doing that, then what happens is, then they say, how can we go back? Our husbands won't accept us. He says, no, you go back, they will accept. When they go back and tell them their husbands about Krishna, they start to lament. Oh, we were in these ritualistic things, but we couldn't see Krishna. Then the question, why don't you go and see them now? Go see Krishna now, but still they don't go to Krishna because they are afraid of Kamsa. So being caught in so much of material conceptions and executing religion for material karmakandic results, one gets so much caught that one never is able to approach Krishna. So many pastimes illustrate that. Now we have some last few minutes, and I might slightly go over time. My apologies for that. And if somebody wants to drop out, they can. The clear question now is, we as devotees, when we apply this to ourselves, there might be people, there are various levels, people who are just starting out, who are in the process of Adho Shraddha. They might, from this entire pastime, understand that we should not go after material things, we should go only for devotional service. But people who are already executing Bhajana Kriya, who are already devotees, when they look into the heart, at the core of the heart, when you are chanting, if your mind is going into some other things, what does that mean? When you are chanting, if you are not fully absorbed in the chanting, and mind is going here and there, and I'm not saying occasionally, very frequently going here and there, then we know that in the chitta there are many anarthas, many unwanted desires, material desires. And that is pushing my mind here and there. So actually, while outwardly I'm appearing to be devotee of Krishna, actually in the core of my heart, I am bit or more or less like this, maybe less, but maybe more like this Dari sannyasi, who is externally wearing saffron cloth, or we might be externally wearing white and tilak and kantimala, but inside the heart maintaining material desires, which is what Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says is duplicity. We have this duplicity. Two, externally we are devotee, internally we are having material desire. So the question to be asked from this pastime is, how do we get out of that mentality, right? One has to measure that how much I am, or when I'm doing service, I'm doing some kirtan or giving this lecture, am I doing it for my glorification or puja pratishtha labh? Sometimes we say, while even playing mridanga, we do more to show the tattoo. So are we becoming more doing a spiritual activity or service for having some subtle or gross material desires, or are we doing it for the satisfaction of Krishna? So the question is, if you have to move away from being a Dari sannyasi and becoming like Mahaprabhu is saying, exclusively for devotional service, what is that we should do? What are the suggestions? Can some of us suggest what are the things we can do?
First of all, we should introspect in our own life where we are going wrong. Try to keep Krishna in the center of all our activities.
Right.
And Prabhupada has made it so easy for all the devotees by using the word dovetail. So we should dovetail all our activities towards Krishna service, considering that Krishna is the real doer. We are just the nimit matram, we are just the instrument in his service. So whatever things or activities we do, we should do it for his pleasure. Like in Bhagavatam also it is said, Samsiddhir Haritoshanam.
Thank you. Very nice. This is very wonderful. This is the sum and substance. Every activity we do, we should do for the pleasure of Krishna. Right? So that is the right thing. But let me just, for the purpose of discussion, I'm just trying to rake up this. But isn't that what we are all doing? I mean, we have been devotees, we have been chanting, we have been doing services. But, some of us might be doing for a lot of years. But still we seem to be, having a lot of material desires, or at least our minds are wandering. So what should we do? Is that we should do something different, or what should we do? Right.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. May I?
Dandavat, yes.
Prabhuji. The situation you are explaining is very much pertaining to myself, I understand. And I've been chanting for 40 years now, but still, material desires do not go away. I sometimes seek solace in Chaitanya Chaitamrit. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Yadi anya kami karem Krishna bhajan, Krishna darade swacharan visay bhulai. He says that, this murk is doing my bhajan, but, he's asking visay sukh, which is actually amrut chari visay magai bada murk. And, ami agya visay kanadib, swacharanamrut diye visay bhulai. He says like that. So, I feel that, if I have sincerity, that, someday, by mercy of great sadhus like Srila Prabhupada, if I have some sincerity, Lord Krishna will facilitate my bhajan. So this is what many times I think, but today it was so pertaining, you say it like that. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. That was Pranam.
This is very wonderful. That's why I think it's very nice to have senior devotees sharing. This is very wonderful. He's quoting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, why should I give this murkha this? This material desire, I'll give him my charnamrita and make him forget everything. Right? However, let us just go into this for a moment. Prabhu said some very wonderful things. We'll have to go into it. If I sincerely do it, then Krishna will provide me, even if I have material desires, he will provide me that mercy, and he will give his Charanamrit and Vishaya Boliva. He will completely make me forget the Vishaya and attract me in his service. Now, this mercy certainly comes from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we all know that it's not just by our sadhana or service we attain this by mercy. But we also know from the Damodar pastime that to attain, we have to do our endeavor and mercy comes. So there are 2-3 things we need to step upon. First is what is this problem? Let's analyze it technically. Technically, the problem is I am chanting or I am doing services. But whatever I am doing is, this is my, intellectual mind, then the deep mind, the emotional mind, then willing mind, egoistic mind, and then the deep part where the mind, the soul is there, the mind is the deepest part is chitta, where chetana is there. Cheta prangana sanginim, which is prangana, it is the courtyard. Right? The house starts, then before that there's the courtyard. So chitta is there. In chitta, there are many, many unwanted desires from multiple lifetimes. Now my chanting, I'm chanting, sometimes my mind is here and there. So even my mind is not listening my chanting. So chanting comes in and the mantra goes out. Some people concentrate more. They make the mind and the holy name touch by hearing the first Hare, and there are many techniques, we'll come to that. Then the intellectual mind, if you come back to the first Hare again and again and again, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare. When you bring back your intellectual mind to Hare, it starts, and then your intellectual mind calms down. Or they say chant from the heart. When you bring your emotional mind into it, it is a prayer. Otherwise, it's not a prayer. It's Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. There is no prayer. But when you say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, I'm maintaining the same speed. But there is the prayer. The heart has come into it. I'm saying, oh, energy of the Lord, oh Lord, please engage me in your service. Or I am not able to concentrate my chant. Please help me. The emotional mind also comes in. Then the holy name touches like that. Then like that, when it goes deep, you start to realize you are not the controller. Egoistic mind dissolves. Actually, Krishna is the controller. And then it starts hitting the chitta. Cheto darpana marchana. This is the process of anartha nivritti. If you do bhajana kriya with initiation properly, anartha nivritti happens. If you're just doing without your mind listening, the anartha nivritti is very slow. And it's also, there is a sloka. Even if you chant like this for hundreds of janmas, you will not get Krishna prayer. But when you make that effort, when you bring in your intellectual mind or how you bring in your brain and heart into it, then you're making the sincere effort. So the first part is, how are we chanting and how can we do that more sincerely? The chitta is the part of the soul. So for example, when you say you should chant, who should chant? When you say you should hear the Mahamantra, who should hear? Your body or the soul? You're the soul. So you should hear means the soul should hear. But when we bring our material mind and this thing and bring it back into the holy name, back to that is sincere chanting, and then it will touch. When the holy name touches, Cheta Prangana Sanginim Vijayate Sarvendriyanam Kratim. Chitta, when it enters the courtyard of the heart, Chitta Prangan, of the Chitta, Sarvendriyanam Kratim, it completely stops all the activities, all the indriyas. Then you start, the mind absolutely calms down. And that stage is called Nishtha. And in that Nishtha, when you go on chanting, now the mind is not running here and there. You're able to execute your rounds and your services very nicely every day. Then it starts seeping in and touches the soul. And the first ray of Radharani's mercy comes. When it touches the soul, then you start feeling some taste. Ruchi happens. And I won't, we were ahead of time, so we'll go very fast. And the Ruchi starts to go much into the heart, and then Asakti develops. Asakti means so much attraction. In Bhajana Kriya, I've always said, Bhajana Kriya, you chant, the mind goes out. In Asakti, even if you're trying to do some material activity, you will see a blue color and you will suddenly faint because you start remembering Krishna. Even when you try to put the mind out, it goes in because there is so much Asakti here. And then after that, you realize your bhava, and that love matures so much that you know what is your relationship with Krishna and what is that way, what is that particular love? Is it Vatsalya or is it Madhurya or Sakhya or whatever that particular mellow, and then you develop Krishna prema when that condenses. So for all this to happen in Bhajana Kriya, we have to do our chanting seriously. That's point number one. Point number 2 is that even when we are doing the service, and that is what Bhagavad Gita 17.26-27 starts talk about, we have to reset our intention before I'm trying to serve prasad, before I'm if I've chanted well, my intention is very nice, but even then I can reset. That's why we do Gayatri and many others, but really offer it, pray to our Guru Maharaj before starting the Aarti, and through them we are offering the Aarti for the pleasure of Krishna. Even before you start a lecture, you pray to the Lord, and that's not just some slokas we say, we actually reset our heart. That's why Prabhupada recommended chanting Jayarada Madhav. We enter the pastimes, we sing about the reset our heart that this is for your pleasure. Right? These two activities of sadhana and seva, which will get to seva absorption and sadhana absorption, are very important. And we need to measure how much we are absorbed in our seva, how much you are. I give a lot of examples for seva absorption. When Gopakumar reached Goloka, the people were plucking flowers. He was asking questions. None of them were responding. There is an entire thing on seva absorption. So seva you are absorbed, sadhana you are absorbed. Suppose you are trying, and if you are not able to do this, then what you need to do? If you are sincerely trying and still it's not happening, then you need to take a higher dose. So there, it is very much recommended that you go, maybe take 3-4 days chutti from your office or whatever you're doing, go and serve a senior Vaishnava, senior devotee, some sannyasi, your Guru Maharaj or your Siksha Guru, go and do some service. Right? And if you cannot physically go, alternately take some service from them, or translating books or writing something or responding their communication, some service under the Vaishnavas where you can be in touch with either Vani or Vapu. That service, even for a short time, it is said that even in the same verse, it is said only by Satan Prasangan Mama Virya Samvidho Bhavanti Hartkarana Rasayana Katha. That by that association of those devotees, Shadamatra, Lavamatra Sadhu Sangha, immediately you will get so much boost that you can focus on your chanting far better. The other thing you can do is attend retreats. I always recommend some of the wonderful retreats that happen in Govardhan by VIH and Govardhan retreat. There is the Japa retreat, which happens just after Kartik. There is Govardhan retreat. There is another retreat called Sharanagati retreat happening in February. So wherever you are geographically, I'm sure in US also, there are Sadhu Sangha. Many other programs happen in Dubai. There is this entire, Kirtan Mela and other retreats happen. But I would highly recommend if you can come to Braj or Mayapur. I think in Nityananda Prabhu's birthplace also there is a Japa retreat that happens. So any of those retreats where you completely take yourself out, retreat from the material activities and spend 4 or 5 days completely associating with devotees, chanting and hearing, then it again washes out because it will go deep. In our material in daily activity, the chanting goes slightly deep, and then we are in office and everything, and then it goes slightly deep, and then again we are. But when we do concentrated retreat, there's a chance it goes much deeper, and that means your consciousness becomes more elevated and you progress faster. Of course, the most easiest thing you can do is attend Mangalarti in the temple near you. If you do it consistently and chant in the morning in the association of devotees, that itself over a period of time will elevate and make the holy name go deeper, and your services will become better and better. So if we get to a stage where we are grahastas, but we clearly contemplate that when I get up in the morning, my focus very clear, my Guru Maharaj has said this is my local temple, these are my services, and in between them, I will do my job and family. Not the other way around, I have my job, I have my family, and Sunday for 2 hours, I'll just go to the temple. That is Krishna consciousness in one corner. When that mentality changes, then we will come to Nishtha. So these are some small things that I've heard from many senior Vaishnavas by which we can elevate and cross over this maintaining material desires in the heart and externally doing religious activities. So we will stop here. Thank you very much for this opportunity to discuss this wonderful pastimes and many other pastimes. Can be sometimes a very bewildering pastimes, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This one is talking about these three things: exclusive devotional service, second, non-maintaining material desires and doing a show of religiosity, and finally, you will see that even such a material person can get mercy, which is why we are very hopeful. But a Mayavadi or one who is envious or calls himself God and blasphemes Krishna does not get that mercy. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Dandavad. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. A very beautiful class. Lots of instructions you gave in the end, which are really practical. So thank you so much, Prabhuji, for telling how that talk about chanting was very useful. And hopefully some of it will enter me. Seeking your blessings on that. And how, yes, we have to introspect, and then if chanting is still not right, then we have to go take shelter of some senior Vaishnava, serve them in any way we can, and that will really help us. That was something which was, yeah, I have to ponder a lot on that, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for this very nice, interactive, beautiful class, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Matajis and Prabhujis, if you have any realizations to share or questions to ask, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, so glories to Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much for the wonderful session, very interactive. You made us also think in so many directions and so many pastimes. And thank you for the instructions that you gave in the last Satam Sangam. Yeah, that is the key for everything for our spiritual progress. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. I don't have any question, but class was really great. Very good.
Thank you, Mataji. Prabhuji, since I don't see any other person raising their hand, so with your permission, shall we offer our obeisances, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Chaitanya Bhagavath ki jai, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, His Grace Achintya Gopesh Prabhuji ki jai.
Jai. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Prabhu.
Thank you so
Beautiful
much.
class. Hare Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ji ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, dear devotees. Thank you for joining us. See you all tomorrow. I'm ending the call here. Thank you once again, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.